Hello everyone, welcome back to Story Behind the Story. I'm your host Courtney Rowe, and with me today I have Miss Sammy, who did a story on the First Generation Focus event. Now, the Student Success Center and the Office of Diversity and Inclusion have been putting together this event for a long time, so tell us about this.
Yeah, so back in August when they started doing the preliminary results for the university census, they discovered that we had a really high number of first-generation students at Northwest this year. I believe the freshman class, there's about 46% first-generation students. And so the Student Success Center was really looking at that population of students and saying they're not retaining and graduating at as high rates as non-first-generation students, and they said we want to close that equity gap. So they started putting together this series that they've debuted this semester. This was the second part of the series, to teach staff and faculty about what first-generation students are, the difficulties they face, and how to break down those barriers so those students can succeed. So this was the second part of the series, and it was really focused on the student lens. And so they had a panel of 5 students, 5 first-generation students, who kind of gave their input and gave some advice to faculty and staff about working with first-generation students.
That's so awesome, and you've gotten the opportunity to follow this since the very beginning, since August. So tell us how that journey's been.
Yeah, so I've kind of been covering it before this event series started. I did a story about the fact that, 1, we had really high enrollment this year, and 2, we had really high first-generation students. And also, this is sort of in conjunction with ASCU, the American Association for State Colleges and Universities, which is putting a lot of focus into underrepresented and first-generation students and helping them succeed. And so I've been following that partnership and the high number of first-generation students and kind of their celebration of success and their aims to succeed more.
Now, you got to talk to one of the coordinators, Allison Hoffman. Who is she, and what is her part in all of this?
So she's the director of student success and retention, and she has kind of spearheaded taking this on, and she is also Northwest partner with ASCU. And so she covers that whole making sure that students are staying at Northwest and they're succeeding and graduating. And so she really provides a unique perspective on the technical aspects from the university side of what makes students succeed regardless of where they come from, regardless of the struggles they face in life.
So they have put together this panel of students. Who makes up this panel, and what specifically do they get to talk about?
Yeah, so this was 5 students, and they were an array of students from rural areas, from urban areas, from freshman to senior, who come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, but all first generation, to provide their perspectives on living on campus versus off campus, or their experiences with their advisors, or the programming going on at Northwest, or the resources. And they kind of provided a diverse array of feedback to the faculty and staff who attended about what Northwest is doing well and what it can improve on, and kind of where it's falling through the cracks.
Now, one of the members of this panel is Asma, the student body president. You got to talk to her. What all did she have to say?
Yeah, I've interviewed her a lot, and her story is really, really interesting because she comes from an immigrant family who has come to the U.S. specifically so that way her and her siblings can go to college and get a degree and succeed in life. And so I really like her persistence, but I also noticed in her story that she said she feels comfortable talking to her siblings about her struggles, but she said she feels like she can only bring her successes to her parents, and that she kind of needed those, not peer role models, but kind of leaders and people to guide her in those times when she felt like she couldn't go to her parents with their struggles. And so I thought that it was really interesting to see her perspective on like what university leaders she has felt drawn to and why they were important mentors in her journey.
It's good that we have these people to bring awareness to the things that go unnoticed, not only by the students, but also the faculty as well. Now, do you think this event could be something that students could benefit from watching, or do you think it should be strictly faculty?
I definitely think that students could benefit from stuff like this. One of the things that Alicia said was that when you're going through a university experience, especially at Northwest, if you're comfortable, you're probably doing something wrong. Because there's a really diverse group of people that have been brought to this campus from a million walks of life. And so you need to step outside of your comfort zone and really get to know those people and walk a mile in their shoes in order to not only treat them better and treat other people like them better, but grow in yourself as a person. And so I think it would be really beneficial for students to be able to hear that first generation experience and know what those struggles are that they're probably not familiar with.
Yeah. Now, after talking to all of these people, what was the thing that stuck out to you the most?
The most surprising thing for me was that intersection between being a first-generation student and being an underrepresented student. 3 of the members of the panel were non-white students, and they had a drastically different experience, especially in residential life, as opposed to the 2 white students. And I never really thought about that intersection of those experiences before, and that being an underrepresented student could make such a difference in how you experience being a first-generation student. And I think being aware of that, both as a student and for the university side, will lead to helping those students succeed in a more fulfilling capacity.
Okay. This story was definitely very enlightening, and it will definitely change the way I go about viewing the people in my dorm and just people I live around. So I really enjoyed reading your story.
Thanks
kind
so
of
much.
Shifting away from everything. Tell us more about what we should expect from you next week.
Well, I finally got an interview with the new Title IX and Equity Coordinator, which he had been out for the first month or so of the semester, and I'm really excited to talk to him about his new role because we haven't had a Title IX coordinator for a while, especially while DEI was going through changes. So I'm excited to hear from him about what he does and how that works, especially since they're going to go through a new recertification process with the American Disabilities Act compliant students. So look forward to that next week.
I will. I can't wait to read all about it. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.